listening. A second. Sure. Hello, good afternoon, students. How are you all?
Good afternoon, sir.
Fine.
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 Happy to hear that. Are you all excited to start our class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good, very good. I like the energy. Very good. Okay, so as you all know, we were discussing the chapter called A Shipwrecked Sailor. And who wrote the chapter?
Yes,
And
sir.
who wrote the story?
Gabriel Garcia.
Garcia Marquez.
Very good, very good, very good. And you remember the portion that we discussed in the last class?
Yes, sir.
Which paragraph were we discussing? Do you remember that? Okay, no problem. We were discussing paragraph number 11. And today we will be discussing paragraph number 12. Okay?
Yes,
Are you
sir.
guys ready? Very good, very good.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so just to make sure that you remember the portion that we discussed, I'll be asking some questions. I hope you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good, very good. So since it was Aishwarya who responded first, I'll ask the first question to Aishwarya. Okay, so the first question is, I kept searching the water, hoping that someone would surface soon. Did anyone come to the surface? Aishwarya, can you answer?
Yes, sir. No one came to the surface because they were all drowned.
Very good, very good, very good. That is the answer. The answer is no. Velasco did not see any of his shipmates reaching the surface because, as I should have said, they all drowned. Very good, Aishwarya. Okay, so the next question is for Sridevi. Okay, so what proved to Velasco that the small ship hasn't sunk? Sridevi, are you there? Okay, I guess she is having some problem with the network. Okay, I'll ask Setu for the answer. Setu, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Can you answer the question? Do you remember?
Yes, sir. The mast kept growing more distinct, which proved him that the ship hadn't sunk.
Very good, Setu, very good. So that is the answer. And the answer is, I'll read out to you once more. The mast kept growing more distinct, which proved that the ship hadn't sunk. Okay, so those were the questions that I had for you. I'm glad that you were able to answer, which proves that you remember. I'm glad. Okay, so today, as I said, we'll be discussing paragraph number 12. So before going on to the chapter, I mean to the paragraph, let me give you a small summary. Is that okay with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good, very good. Okay, so here is the summary. Velasco starts to contemplate his current situation. He realizes that the rafts had no provisions. He remembers there being 6 life rafts apart from the rowboats and the whalers. This gives him hope that his mates might have found refuge in the other rafts. He also hopes that the destroyer ship is searching for them and help is not far away. Okay, so this is soon after him getting on the raft and seeing all his mates drowning. Okay, so on the raft, he is just contemplating about the current situation. Cool. So moving on, I want each of you to take page number 49 and read paragraph number 12 silently. Also mark the difficult words. Okay? The time starts now. You can do it.
Okay, sir.
Are you all done with the reading?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good, very good, very good. So I hope
Yes, sir.
you remember the groups that I had divided you into. Right? Do you remember? So just to remind you all, Setu, your bench is one team. Aishwarya, yours is the other. Ashwati, yours is the third team. And Justin, yours is the fourth team. Okay? So Right now, I want each groups to read the portion again and discuss the words that you had found while reading individually. Okay? Please do it right now. Did you guys discuss?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good, very good. I hope that was a productive period. Okay, so now let's look at some of the unfamiliar words. Can anyone identify the picture? It's a very good, Aishwarya. And that is the picture. So this is a raft. And what does that mean? It means it is a flat, buoyant structure of timber or other materials fastened together, used as a boat or a floating platform. Okay, so is that clear to you?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Very good, very good.
Yes, sir.
So now, Ashwari, can you identify this picture? Ashwari, are you there?
Yes, sir.
What do you see in this picture?
Some kind of things like
Yes, these are all food items, right? These are all
Yeah.
food items. Okay, so can you guess to what word it refers to?
is that cargo?
Ah, you're close. Very good try. Good try. Okay, so the word here is provisions. Can you please read it out for your friends?
Yes, sir. Provision means supply with food, drink, or equipment, especially for a journey.
Very good, Ashwini. Very good. Okay, so in the story, you see that the rafts in which they were trying to save themselves, it had no provisions, right? So it means that they did not have any kind of food or anything to drink on the life rafts. Okay, so that is the situation of Velasco. Let's move on to the next word. Can you identify what this is? We already discussed raft. So what would this be? Can anyone take a guess?
Or
Yeah, you're close enough. Okay. So this is actually a rowboat. Okay. So Gayatri, can you read it out for your friends?
Yes. So, boat means mode propelled by use of oars. Rowing boat.
Yes, very good, very good. So apart from the 6 life rafts, there were also rowboats on the ship in which Velasco was traveling. Okay, so I hope all these 3 words are clear. Let's move on to the next word. Can you identify this picture? Justin, can you?
Sorry, I think it's must.
Yes, you're close enough. Okay, so I'll just give the word. Okay, so in the chapter, did you see a word like the whalers? Did you see that, Justin?
Yes, sir.
Yes, very good. So can you read it out for your friends? What that means?
Yes, sir. Yes. Whalers. A whaler or whaling ship is a specialized vessel designed or adapted for whaling, the catching or processing of whales.
Very good, very good. So these ships are specially designed to catch whales. Okay, so can you remember? Do you remember a story in which there was a particular character who was after a whale and he actually used a whaling ship? Do you remember the name of the story? Have you read the story? It's an open question.
Sir, Moby Dick.
Very good, very good. Who was that? I couldn't make out.
Sir, Amrita.
Who gave the answer? Ah, very good, Amrita. It is the book called Moby Dick. Very good, very good. Okay, so in Moby Dick, the characters are traveling in a whaler. Very good. So let's look at the last picture I have for you. Can you identify this picture? Anyone? It's an open question. Amrita, can you?
Destroyer.
Very good, very good. Excellent job. So this is the picture of a destroyer. So a destroyer is a fast, maneuverable, long-endurance warship intended to escort larger vessels in a fleet. Okay, so this is what a destroyer looks like. There are many kinds of destroyers, but this is just. So this is the ship Velasco is hoping to see in a few moments. Okay. Okay. So those were the difficult words. I hope you have understood the meaning like perfectly. Okay, now I'll read the portion for you. Please listen carefully. So, there was no reason they shouldn't have reached it. The rafts were provisioned. The rafts weren't provisioned, in fact. In fact, none of the life rafts on a small ship was outfitted. But there were 6 of them, apart from the rowboats and the whalers. It was reasonable to believe that some of my mates had reached the other life rafts, as I had reached mine, and perhaps the destroyer was searching for us. Very soon, I was aware of the sun, a midday sun, hot and metallic. Stupefied, not fully recovered, I looked at my watch. It was noon on the dot. Okay, I hope you got the meaning of the paragraph. Now, I want one of you to read the portion loudly. Gopika, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Could you please read out the portion for your friends?
Yes, sir. There was no reason they shouldn't have reached it. The rafts weren't provisioned. In fact, none of the life rafts of the small ship was outfitted. But there were 6 of them, apart from the rowboats and the whalers. It was reasonable to believe that some of my mates had reached the other life rafts, as I had reached mine, and perhaps the destroyer was searching for us. Very soon I was aware of the sun, a midday sun, hot and metallic. Stupefied, not fully recovered, I looked at my watch. It was noon on the dot.
Very good, Gopika. Very well read. Okay. So now let's move on to the questions and answers from this particular paragraph. Okay. Why did Velasco think his mates have survived? Ashwati, can you answer the question?
Yes, sir. There were 6 life rafts apart from the rowboats and the wheel. Hence, it was reasonable to think his mates must have reached the other life raft.
Very good, Ashwati. Very good. So the answer is there were 6 life rafts apart from the rowboats and the whalers. Hence, it was reasonable to think his mates must have reached the other life rafts. Okay, very good. Now, let's move on to the next question. How is the sun described in the paragraph? Amrita, can you answer the question?
It was a midday sun. Hot.
Yes, very good, very good. So, in the paragraph, the sun is described as hot and metallic. Why? Because it is a midday sun. Very good, Amrita. Now, let's look into the last question. Did Velasco think help is on the way? Justin, can you answer?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Velasco believed that somebody will help him, sir.
Yes, very good, Justin. So, Velasco was hopeful, right? Yes, Velasco thought they would be soon saved by the destroyer ship searching for them. Very good, Justin. Okay, so that is the end of the questions and answers. And I hope now the portion is thorough. Okay, so you have understood every word of the portion. And that is my hope. Okay, let's move on to the structure later. So Can anyone guess what structural item for the day is? Any guesses? Okay. Sorry?
Noun.
Yes, exactly. Very good. Today, we will be discussing the structural item called noun. Okay, very good. So, let's see what a noun is. So, a noun is a word other than a pronoun used to identify any of a class of people, places, or things. And these things, people, places, or things, are called common noun. Or to name a particular one of these, which is a proper noun. Let's look at some of the examples. The first example is Velasco, which is a name, and hence it is a noun. And the next one is ship, and it is an object or a thing. Hence, that too becomes a noun. Okay? So I hope that is clear to you. Now, I'll give you guys one small activity, and I want you all to do it in your groups. Okay? Discuss with your teammates and find out the answer. After that, I'll be calling one person from each team to give out the answer. Okay? So, the activity for you is find examples of nouns from the text. Okay, your time starts now. You can work in your teams. Everyone should give one word, at least one word. Okay, everyone should contribute to the answer. Work within your teams, please. Are you guys done?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Aishwarya, can your team give out the answer?
Yes, sir. Destroyer.
Mm-hmm.
Velasco.
Okay. Is Velasco actually mentioned in this paragraph?
No, but it is an.
Oh, yeah, it is a noun. Yes, very good. Okay. Let's look at the other answers. Okay, Ashwini, can your team actually present your answer?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
A raft, ship, robot, sun, midday, watch, new.
Very good, very good, very good. So these are very good answers. Now let me present my version of the answer. Okay. So these were the nouns I could find from the paragraph. Okay. So let's look at each one of them. Raft, ship, rowboats, whalers, destroyer, sun, midday, watch, and finally noon. So these were all the nouns I could find from the paragraph. I hope it matches with your answer too. Okay. Now let's move on. What did we learn today? We learned the story of paragraph number 12 from the whole chapter. And then we discussed some new words, and after which we had a question and answer session, which you guys performed really well. And later on, we discussed a structural item, which is noun. I hope everything is clear to you. Nothing is unclear. That I hope so. Is everything clear to you all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good, very good. I'm very glad to hear that. Now, let's move on to the follow-up activity, which I want to give you before we close the session. Okay, so the activity is imagine yourself in the shoe of Velasco and write down what you would have done differently to save your mates. Okay, so we saw Velasco trying his best to save his friends. But as you know, he was not successful. Just think of yourself in Velasco's shoes and try to write down what you would have done differently. Okay? So that what Velasco has done, what would you do differently? Which would help you to save your friends. Okay? Is the activity clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Very good, very good, very good. So that's all for today.
Yes, sir.
I'll see you in the next class. Okay, then. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.